Uncle Iroh is a very interesting character in the Avatar universe. He is interesting because he was a bad person anyway, and he even remained a bad person, because his actions cannot be justified or forgiven in any way. And he never tried to apologize for his action. He never showed that he was sorry for his actions. He regrets more the loss of his son, and only the loss of his son made him think about his life and the decisions he made at a very old age. He definitely became an intelligent person who understood a lot about the world and changed his vision of this world. He became a great mentor for Zuko, and he was the one who influenced him the most and helped him to become a decent leader who was able to change his nation after a century of bloody conquest and destruction of other nations. But while Zuko didn't have any horrible actions behind him, because before his exile he just lived in the palace and didn't really understand what was happening in the world, Iroh knew that his nation was bad. He was a disgusting man who led an army of Fire Nation and sent war trophies to his nephews. Maybe some people don't think about it, but these are things he took from possibly dead people, and Zuko only started to realize that his nation was terrible. It took a long time because, first of all, he was traumatized and full of desire to get his honor back. He didn't think much about what was happening around him. At the same time, Iroh knew all this and could have stopped many terrible events, like when Admiral Zhao killed the Moon Spirit. Iroh knew about it and could have prevented it before Zhao was just right in front of the spirits. Zuko was important to Iroh because Zuko became a kind of replacement for his lost son, which is also a very unhealthy attitude. Iroh felt guilty because not only did he live wrong all his life, but he also dragged his son into this pit of hatred, which is why he died. He felt that his son died because of him, because he was the one who waged this war and led his son into battle. He saw in Zuko a power he never had, the power to go against the system. Iroh is a very strong firebender and a very wise man, but at the same time he is weak. He does not have the moral power to go directly against Ozai or to go his own way. He chose to follow Zuko's path, to be there for him and support him even if he did not agree with his actions. He did a great job of letting Zuko make mistakes. Zuko managed to catch Aang more than once, but he never knew what to do next. He was afraid of what might happen next, because deep down he knew it was wrong. He knew Aang would face a terrible fate if he brought him home. He was constantly fighting the Fire Nation software that was implanted in everyone since childhood, and his personal morality and consciousness that always felt something was wrong. Iroh was well aware of this and helped him, but never prevented him from making decisions. When Zuko did something very wrong again, Iroh decided to ignore him and let him finally make a decision by himself. Because advice is useful, but when you get used to advice, it can become difficult to make your own decisions, and no one knows what you should do better than you. He cried because he was worried about him, but he realized that there was nothing more he could do for him. The last thing he did was show Zuko that he was the grandson of the Avatar, just gave him that information and let Zuko go on his way. Iroh was like that not only to Zuko but to the whole world. He never took active action, he never fought for anything in particular, but he was often in the right place at the right time. Like when he saved Aang and Katara, or when he didn't kill the last dragons, or when he helped restore Ba Sing Se's sovereignty. He had a pretty good connection to the spiritual world and taught Zuko what harmony and peace in the world is, and that all nations should be equal. He tried to achieve harmony for himself and become a useful person for others, because his action in the past he can never atone for. Iroh is a man who could have done much more. It was a manifestation of weakness and irresponsibility on his part, because he had the opportunity to stop it. He had the opportunity to stop this war. In so many ways he is a very contradictory character. I don't see any remorse for his actions. I don't like the fact that he sometimes thinks that he is too right in so many situations. He seems to try to ignore who he was, and that looks quite disgusting to me. He has done a lot of good things, but he has done a lot of bad things. He is a good uncle and an interesting character, but a bad person who has been forgiven too much by the world and the audience.